Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Make Your Mark podcast. And I'm so excited for this episode. Why? Because this lady that we've got on next, her name is Jo. Now, Jo to me is like a magician. Why? Because she's had so many different kind of changes, transitions, directions she's going on. And at the same time, she is a successful seven-figure earner, right? She's a huge entrepreneur. And when I see the different things that she's going through at her stage in her business, I'm like, oh my goodness, how is she even navigating all of this? So I knew I had to have her on this show because we all can learn so much from Jo. Oh my goodness, Jo, thank you for coming on this show.
Oh, I'm so happy to be here. Thank you so much. I'm excited. How often do you get to talk about yourself for like 35 minutes?
All right, so before we get into the nitty-gritty, right, there's so many things I want to ask you, right, today. I would love for you to share with our audience a little bit about what your journeys look like because no one ever builds a business overnight or a click of a finger, right? And there's always these ups and downs. So, what did that journey really look like for you to get to the business that you have now?
Yeah, it's been a long one. It's been a lifetime ago. I feel like there's two parts to my life, my old life and then my new life. And
Right.
so back in my 20s, I was an admin assistant and was a salesperson, and then I became an admin assistant for a travel company. And I was just coasting. Like I wasn't particularly ambitious. I felt like everyone had better jobs. I literally was just taking the easy route. And I did that job for 8 years and I hated it. I literally remember standing at the top of the stairs because I had to work in a basement, had to be there for 9
What?
hours a day, got a 30-minute, 25-minute lunch break. It was like recorded. It was like so strict. I hated working in this place.
Goodness.
But why I stayed there 8 years, I feel like lack of confidence. I don't know. Um, and I really, really wanted to start my own business. Like my dad he didn't have his own business, but he was like quite high up in a business. And actually he then did start his own franchise as well.
Oh, wow.
And he was always a little bit entrepreneurial. So I guess that I kind of had that in me. And I don't
Right.
know why, but I just knew that I wanted to start a business. But anyway, I didn't for like 8 years. I literally just came back from traveling, worked in this job, and carried on doing that for until basically I got pregnant. And then that was the moment that things started shifting. Well, actually, it was a little bit before that. I feel like I'd read a book by Paul McKenna called
Oh,
Change Your
yeah.
Life in 7 Days. Like everyone would be like, what on earth? Like my husband had this book, he read it. He's like, you should read this book. And I was like,
Mhm.
okay, like I don't know what made me actually read it because I'd never really done any personal development or anything like that at the time. But I read the book and honestly, it started the new life.
Wow.
And after that, I had got pregnant, had a baby, and that's then what I guess gave me that, I don't know, kick up the arse or just the trigger to get out of that job.
Right.
Um, so while I was pregnant, I trained to become a nail technician. I was like, I like getting my nails done. I was like, I need a job that's going to work around my kids. Oh no, I'll become a nail technician. Doesn't
Wait,
look hard.
was that it? That was it. That was the decision of building this awesome nail technician company that you built.
Start with, I literally was just like, what can I do to get me out of this job? What, because I'm pregnant, I know I've now got this opportunity while I'm on maternity leave where I don't have to go into that job for like 6 months. What can I do? And I was literally just like, if I become a nail technician, I was like, because I didn't really have any money, I had no
Right.
savings. Like, I was like, that's only going to cost me like £1,000 to set up. It's not going to, I don't need loads of training. And I thought, oh, it just sounds like it's something fun. And I was like,
Wow.
I didn't really know what was going to come of it. And so I literally just, for Christmas, I couldn't even afford the course. So it was like £300. I got
Yeah.
my mum and my husband to put in for the course to pay for it. And I
Oh,
got the last space and I did it. And then while I was on maternity leave, I'll speed the story up a little bit. While I was on maternity leave, I basically practiced to become a nail technician. didn't take any money until literally one of my friend's mums, I was just doing their nails for free, literally forced £20 in my hand and was like, you must start taking money for this. I literally was like, no, I just didn't have the confidence.
Wait, oh my goodness. Wait, you went through all of this to start a business, but yet you didn't want to take no one's money.
Yeah, this is how far, like this is honestly, because it blows my mind how far I've come now, because
Yeah.
like now I have a 7-figure business. I've managed to turn over £1 million in revenue in the current business that I'm in. And and it wasn't that. My son is now 9. So
Oh
this is
wow.
8 years ago, about 8.5 years ago that this was happening, 8 years ago ish. And so everything has changed in that time. And I've gone from this person who had zero confidence, not even didn't even want to charge £20 to do someone's nails, to
Yeah.
what I have now.
Wait, so all right, I gotta ask you, where did that transition happen? Like what was that final click where you were like, all right, like every client I have, I gotta start taking money?
There was a few, I feel like there was a few things that made me start, like I didn't have the confidence, but the ambition was building. So
Mm.
even at that time, and I'll tell you what, there is a trigger from it, and she'll laugh if she listens to this. I'm going to see my friend tonight. That was one of the triggers of it. When I was pregnant, I joined an NCT group, and I was like, my husband was like, it's like £350 to join this NCT group, right? And I'm like, oh, we don't have £350 to pay, like, just to make some friends. I was like, we don't really need it. Anyway, he's like, no, we're going to do it. So we went and did it. And I met the most amazing group of women. Like, we're still so close now, and I'm such good friends with loads of them. And one of them had a house with a pool.
Ooh.
And it blew it. Honestly, I didn't know anyone with a house with a pool. I didn't know, no one in my circles has
Yeah.
like money like that or has that. And I started hanging around with people that had more than what we had. And it suddenly realized and dawned on me, like, I want that. I
Wow.
think that was one of the things. I think it had been festering for a while, wanting to, like, knowing that I was capable of more and knew that I was playing small. And then having the opportunity of some time not working in the job and having that maternity leave. And then starting to see, actually, what, there are people that are actually earning and that this is possible for. And then starting to think, what, why can't I have that? And that's when, honestly, and I just started working much harder and started taking all the, the things that when you're too scared to do, like charging £20 for a set of nails, like
Yeah.
just starting to build that confidence and that ambition of, like, what, no, I want this. Like, I want better for myself. I want better for my family. I want to be able to take my, like, everyone else is taking their kids on holiday and their babies and doing these things. And I'm like, oh my God, I mean, I've got money to do that. I was like, no, I want money to do this now. It's like, I need to do something better than what I was doing. And yeah, that's when it started. And so, like, really quickly grew the nail business. So first of all, it was just me, got that full, took on a team, thought that was the best way to get to, I'm like, by now I'm like, I want to be a millionaire. I was like, I'm going to grow this big, like, mobile nail business.
Yeah.
But actually, I didn't have the experience. I didn't have the financial backing. I know now I didn't have the financial backing I needed. We didn't have the finance there. And so I was trying to build this business just based on me, like, just reinvesting the money. But it was tough work. It was really stressful. And it came to a point about a year before COVID where I'd kind of come to the point where I was like, it's less profitable than when it was just me. And I haven't set this up right. So,
Right.
so I kind of came to this thing where I was like, right, I need to do something about it. And it was awful because I had to, like, change the way my team work. I had to make some of them redundant, like, but I had to, because the business, I needed to change. Like, I'd realized that I'd made this, like, even though it was a great business when I was a sole trader,
Mm.
it wasn't great as I was growing it, because I just didn't have the financial backing. I didn't have the experience that I needed. So I kind of pulled that right back. Started doing it myself again, just with one or two team.
Just going a couple of steps back here, right? And you're doing this all whilst you've got a little one. Like, how
So
did
I
you?
got pregnant again as well. So when Jack was, my kids have only got a 20-month age gap. So yeah,
Wow.
it
Wait, so
was,
how did you manage? Because having building a business is like having another baby,
it
right?
was
So
insane.
so
It was,
you basically you you had three babies at this point because you had your business and your two little ones, right?
yeah.
how do you even manage the time to build a business when you've got a family as well? How does that even work?
Yeah, it was really hard. There was so my husband was working up in London pre-COVID, so he was out all day up in London working full time. I was going out in the evenings, physically working, doing nails because we were mobile. And in the day, I'm 95% of the time I had my kids in the day. We didn't have loads of money for childcare at the time, so it was just fun. I remember, like, I'd be going to like my kids went to this little class called Rugby Tots. Some really great memories of it. But I literally, like, they'd be like, I'd have like 30 minutes. I had to go in the class with them. I'd be like sitting there on my phone where they're like running backwards and forwards, trying to make the appointments, doing the things. I had to just make it work. I just had to fit it in everything. But I remember just, and now I can look back on it as well. I don't regret it. But what I would say is it was a lot of hard work. But I think even though maybe I missed out on being present then, what it means now is that I am here. Like, I'm here, and now they know, right, whether I'm there or not. Back then it was so young. So yeah, it was hard, but it was good.
And you mentioned that they're 9 years old, right? Do they ever ask you questions like, Mum, why are you doing this? Like, do they have you seen any, I guess, entrepreneurial little pieces coming together for them yet? Because they seem non.
Yeah, it's so funny. Like, honestly, it's weird that you asked that today because my son's been off school, like, sick. He's not really sick, but he didn't go today. he's
Oh,
got a cold, hay fever.
Mum, you're that type of.
I'm not normally, but yeah, it was forest school today, and I had to go pick him up from school yesterday. This is what happens, right? Middle of the day yesterday, I had to go pick him up from school because he got a temperature and they want me to come pick him up. And then today I'm like, he's eating better, but I was like, just stay at home. Anyway, he was like, he's been asking about stocks and shares. He wants to get he wants to buy some shares in Roblox, I think, like a kid's game. Because my husband probably said to him, why are you spending all that money on it? Like, why don't you just invest in it as well? So he's got this in his head. And today I actually signed him up this morning for an entrepreneurial course, a kids entrepreneurial course.
Oh, that's why you're asking for books.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh,
So it's weird that you asked that today.
yeah.
But they're really they talk about making money. Like, they haven't done anything yet. I feel like it does need some parent support in order to do it. I think when you're building your own business, it's like, okay. But it's definitely there, and I definitely will be encouraging them to start their own businesses rather than I feel like, for me, I spent 10 years working for someone else in a job I hated, and actually, if I'd had the courage and maybe this, not support, my parents would always have been supportive, but just the know-how and the courage to be like, you can go for this. You don't need to take the easy option. Like, I would have been so far ahead, right?
Yeah. Oh my goodness. And you've got really far ahead. I mean, you have a seven-figure business, right? And so, okay, you had this nail technician business, right? And I've seen, like, you've got this amazing group, right? Because I'm always coming to you and say, how did you build this group? Like, how are you keeping them entertained? How are you getting engagement? Like, you've not only built a business, but you've built a huge, like, fan base for your business as well, right? And I want to go into that a little bit more. But so what you had this nail tech, right? Which you were like charging £20 to get nails. Normally, people are used to hearing the high ticket, right? Having the high ticket coaching program, right? That takes them to 1 million, right? But you had low ticket. So how did you manage to have low ticket items and still get to a seven-figure business?
So I think I found a gap in the market. I think I was
Ooh.
first as far as I know, I would say I was first to do any kind of coaching or mentorship or strategist help for sole trader nail technicians. So there was a lot. So when I was at Nail Tech, I had a coach and I loved it. I just fell in love. Like, I was like, this is the best thing ever, like personal development. It was all new to me and I loved it. And I found that really, really beneficial. And even though as I was trying to scale that business, I didn't get the success, it didn't take me down the path I wanted it to originally. The business I got now is way better. Like, this is so much easier. So it all happens for a reason. I honestly believe that. But I love coaching. So I was like, I kind of starting to think, what, I would love to be able to coach people as well. Like, I feel like, when you're listening to a coach on a coaching group coaching call and you're like thinking, well, I could answer that as well as them now because I've been here for so long. Like I feel like I've got a lot to add as well. So, but I could see there was a gap. So no one, so very quick about the sole trader nail tech industry within the UK is there has been a big shift over the last 10 years from salons. Like, you know, 10, 20 years ago, it was all salons on the high street. Now it's majority is sole trader working from home, mobile, or renting a chair in someone else's salon. And there's lots of there was at the time, it's changed now because obviously, you know, we've gone well from it and other people are kind of coming into the market where we are now. But back then, there wasn't anyone offering sole trader nail techs or beauticians any business support. There was loads of people teaching them how to do nails. There was loads of people doing salon-based coaching for like people that had a team and things, but no one for the sole traders. And I think everyone thought I was mad. And still now, like when I speak to lots of salon salon coaches, you know, they're like, no, we don't help sole, like they look kind of down on it. It's like, we don't help sole traders, like, you know, they haven't got any money. You know, and for a lot of time that is actually quite true. A lot of them have a lot of resistance to wanting to spend on anything like this because they haven't before. But we've still managed to build and turn over £1 million in revenue in the last, what, 4.5 years since we started the Nail Business Success Club. So it's possible. And I think we have made a million mistakes along the way, but our main way that we've made that money is through a membership. So we've built a monthly recurring revenue, and that's been probably, I don't know, 90% of that revenue has come from the membership.
Oh, I love that. And hence the really engaged community that you've built, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
see, everyone is trying to build a community online, including myself, which is why I'm constantly coming to you and it's several other people like, how the heck are you doing this, right? And it again, it's about persistence, is making sure that you're being consistent in like doing videos and putting posts up and all that. That's like a whole different business as well, right? Building
It's
that.
a whole job. It's the job in itself. I feel
Yeah.
like the coaching itself and the membership takes no time. It's the selling and the building the audience that's the actual job.
Right. So I guess when you first started and you decided, oh, you know what, I'm going to be building a community, and you've chosen Facebook as a platform to do this. How long did it really take you to build that community up to the engagement that it is?
It doesn't feel like it was that long, but I do remember the first few months it feeling much quieter.
Right.
So, yeah, I would say, I mean, so we're at 20, we've got 20,000, but actually we've been at around like the 18 to 20,000 mark for like, I don't know, a year and a half or something like that now. Like we feel like we're kind of like steadied out a little bit now.
Right.
But I feel like one of the reasons it done so well, because we got such good engagement, is because it was a new thing. It wasn't something that everyone, like there wasn't a million other people doing it. So it was like, oh, someone actually wants to help us like with this problem that we have. Oh my God, there's actually someone. And I think also we just gave and gave and gave in that group.
Wow.
Like, you know, there was a lot of lives. We did, I think like a couple of the other things that really helped us was we held regular challenges, which we were driving Facebook ads to, as well as organic like traffic.
That's why you're so great at these challenges, because you've been doing it for a long time.
Yeah, we've been doing it. I think the first one was when we went into lockdown. So it's like, I can't believe how I managed to grow because the membership we opened a month before we went into lockdown.
Oh, wow.
And but when we came out of lockdown, considering the nail techs and no beautician nail tech had been open for 4 months, from March through to, I think it was like end of July time. That was when we hit our first 5K month. And then in that September when we reopened was when we hit our first 10K month. And then that November was the first 19K month. And they were all launches. They were all challenges that led to a live launch. And I think it was just, no one was doing it in our industry. So it was brand new. And I think like that helped.
Yeah.
Along with a massive amount of value and help we gave inside that free group.
I love that. I love that. Now, you have very recently, right, decided to transition the platform, the business that you have right now, right? I would love you to share with us, like, why? If it was going so well, you did so much and you've built it all up and you're the only one that's doing it, why are you changing things around?
Yeah, it's been a hard journey. Like, it's not like, it's so interesting because you think, oh, someone with a 7-figure business, like everything must be perfect for them
Yeah.
and like everything must be really good. But remember that 7-figure revenue is over 4.5 years. And actually things were going really great. And like we had this one product, which was our membership.
Yeah.
And we were just selling and selling and selling that. It was growing nicely. I took some advice that you don't know until you try it, but
Right.
basically we decided, everyone's like, raise the price, you should raise the price of this, is too cheap. Like, and when a lot of people are telling you that, you're like, oh, okay, like, oh, maybe I should.
Yeah.
So we changed it. It was over a few transitions, but essentially it ended up being a course that was sold for about £1,000. Sometimes a little bit more. We tested a few different price points and we changed it into a course rather than a membership.
Okay.
And we tried, and as we made all these changes, we tried doing this, we made the changes, tried selling it, and made some other changes. We moved from launching to evergreen as well.
Okay.
Because we're just like, we're trying to make it better, right? But all we
Yeah.
were doing was making it worse.
Oh no. So you
And
went
so,
from a membership to completely changing the entire structure, right? To I guess because you're like, let's get to the next level. Let's level up now, right? This is
yeah, because everyone's like, oh, you can take that to 20K, but like, how are you getting that further? You need to have it like higher price point. You need to do this.
right.
And I just think like the lessons learned for me was know your audience. You know your audience. Like, however much any other coach and like wants to tell you, you can charge, you need to charge your worth, you need to charge more. Like, if your audience don't have that and are too scared to, like, it doesn't matter how good your messaging is or how strong it is or how many guarantees you put on it, they do not have the money to buy it at that price. They don't value it at that price, they're not buying it. And I think that took about 1.5 years of hard lessons to figure that out. And now we're back literally where we were 2 years ago. It's back as a membership, no tie-in contract, £99 a month, and we're live launching it. And we're now growing again. But we had to make, I feel like you just like, you're trying to figure it all out and you don't make the right decisions all the time. But you know what? And it was a hard couple of years. And that's why things weren't always so rosy. And because we had this business that was bringing in all this money and we had all this team that was supporting it at that level. And when it started to drop again, you don't just want to get rid of your team, right? Like, you don't just want to be like, oh yeah, we don't need you now, like blah, blah, blah. So it's like, you're trying to think, oh, well, actually, if we just make this change, or if we just do this, if we try this instead, it's fine. Next month it will sort itself out. And then it got to the point where we're like, okay, it's not. I mean, that's why this year has been a year about, right, really just resorting everything out. We've had to make some big changes with our team. We've moved it back to our membership, as I said. We've changed the price point again, which was hard because we had a lot of clients that were paying the higher amount. We had to make sure they were happy and not feeling that they'd overpaid. And it's been a journey.
Yes, it has. It has. And I've seen like, because we're all in this mastermind, we're going through like our little kind of business journey together. And I've seen the message that you put up there, right? And it's like you're having trouble with this particular person on the team, and how do you deal with this happening, and all these kinds of things. And because you've got different personalities, different dynamics in your team. So how did you really manage all of that? Were you just kind of like, you know what? No, we're done. Let's just get rid of everyone and I'm going to start from scratch? Or how did that work?
No, it's been quite lucky in a way. Like, we've had so I took on an OBM, an online business manager. She is amazing. She has changed my life and our business life. But it's just been slowly just sorting out each person's job really, and just understanding like what I think first of all was like realizing what do we actually need now, because from the business that it was a year ago to what it is now, we're selling in a completely different way. The membership is not a course anymore. We don't need XYZ, but we do need this. And it was just making that transition of like what it is that we do need and what it is what it is that we didn't really. And that went with not just team members, but just all the systems that we were using, like ads companies and this and this and this. And it was like, we just had to get back to a point where we're like, right, let's figure out what we're doing, then we can start reinvesting again. And so it's been hard, but we've pulled everything back. And actually now, we had our best month ever last month by a long way. So it's all good. And I feel like we've made the right decision and now everything seems to be back on track. But the reason, to answer your question of like, why then suddenly go and buy a franchise, for example, like I've done this week, and start pivoting our business again, is because the thing that I've kind of learned over, I feel like the last year, especially working with like Lisa Johnson and in our mastermind, is not to just rely on one thing. Like, because that, I feel like I've had one thing to sell.
Yeah.
One membership that we've sold, that's been it for the 4 years. And that was fine. For the first couple of years, that was fine. And I kept thinking, I just need to sell this better. I just need to sell this better. But what I've started realizing now, and especially because we've started selling other things already, is that actually it was just very saturated maybe with that one thing. And actually we needed to bring some new things and bring more excitement and things into it. So, and the franchise that I've bought into, which is Lisa Johnson's, the business success company. It's so similar to my name. Now Business Success Club is mine, and it's the business success company that I bought into, which I've like just works well. But that gives me the opportunity to have more diverse courses and programs and things that we can sell to our audience.
I love it. And I'm looking forward to where that's actually going to take you, because we're all watching. We're all watching you, Jo, right? Like, what is she going to do next? Like, holy crap, right? But I want to take a couple of steps back, right? And I want to talk about Vegas very quickly. We had a session with Lisa, right? We all individually had a session with Lisa, and we were all sitting there and we all listened to everybody's stories, what's going on. And Lisa was there, right, to kind of help us navigate certain challenges that we were having. And when you went up there, the room went so quiet, you could hear a pin drop.
Yeah.
Right. And you had a huge aha moment. Right. And I know Lisa came and spoke to you personally after that, because she also gave you some insight as to some of the stuff that she worked out as well. Right.
Yeah.
Can you share that moment? Like, what was really going on? What happened? Some of the epiphanies, and what Lisa came and said to you afterwards?
Yeah. So I think it all stems back to this playing it small.
Yeah.
And so like thinking about when I was like 20 and I came back from traveling and I was like, right, what can I do with the rest of my life? And I had a marketing job, interview lined up for a marketing job with Innocent Smoothies. Amazing. That would have been the perfect thing to go and do with the marketing degree that I had. Should have gone and done that. But instead, I went and got a admin assistant job in a university for £12 an hour. I was like, amazing. I've got a job now. I don't need to go do the Instant Smoothies marketing interview where I had to give a presentation. And I feel like it all stemmed from that point of just playing small and just going for the easy option all the time. And so in our mastermind, before that session in Vegas, I was sitting on my table and I was speaking about how I'd quite like to transition into a new niche, which I will do with the new franchise as well as what I've already said. And I was talking about how I maybe would like to help people that have had service-based businesses, like I had when I was in now successful service-based businesses, how you could then take that from the doing to actually teaching people how you've done that, so that you have more freedom, you can build a more scalable business, etc., like I have. And I was sitting next to Julie, who's also in our mastermind, and she had it's not an accountancy business, but something in accountancy, right? Like a service-based business that she is currently in the process of moving online. And so when I said to her, oh, like I'm thinking about like what I'm doing, she's like, oh, that's like me. And I was like, oh, no, this is nothing like you. I was like, I'm thinking about sole traders. Like I couldn't work with a proper business. Like you're a proper business. Like, no, I'm thinking about like,
so. You're a proper business.
I don't see that, right? So
Wow.
I'm like, so that in my head, and then Julie's like, you're mad, like, and anyway, I gave them some advice on the table, like just because we were just talking, and they were like writing it down, and they're saying like, you
I've
know,
got
we're
to
gonna,
mention, I've got to mention something else. I love the fact when we did this exercise, right, as to like what we really want to be, right? Like there was one exercise, and you were like, "This is gonna sound so corny. I want to be famous."
yeah,
I love that, right? That was so like, it was so innocent, and I was like, well, yeah, like why wouldn't we all want to be famous? Right? That was so cool. So I just had to mention that because I was like,
yeah.
that was amazing that you
Very
mentioned.
much corny, tell no one thing in.
But
Yeah.
we all
So,
secretly want to be famous. That's the
so I
thing.
went up and spoke to Lisa. So we all sitting around, everyone, like you said, I went up for my session, everyone's sitting there, it's like dead quiet. I'm speaking to Lisa, everyone's listening. And she's like, and I say like what just happened and how like I felt like, no, I can't work with Julie's size business. Like I just want to work with sole traders. And she was like, well, why do you think that? And she came back, she was like, what happened in your, and I'd never thought about this before. And she's like, well, what happened like in your past? Like what's happened? Why, what was the point where, you know, something happened where, you know, you felt like you weren't good enough? And so I'd come back to the point of like, in my marketing degree where I'd had to stand up in front of the class and do a
Right.
presentation. And that I remember being super scared and really nervous. And she said like, hey, that might be it. And then we talked about, at the innocent smoothie interview and how I hadn't gone for that. And that was like the big things that I remembered in my head. Anyway, everyone was like, this is like, who was it? One of our people said, oh, this is like, what's that? I can't remember what the Oprah Winfrey's
Oh, right.
right?
Yes.
So anyway, I go and sit back down and then Lisa does one more person and then she's like, can we just stop for a minute? She's like, everyone just go for a break. And then Lisa comes over. And about 2 seconds later, I'm like, tears because of like she I don't know how she did it, but she literally like started, she was like, what happened? She said, did anything happen in your late teens? Like, did anything happen to you like that could have, you know, triggered this? She's like, I'm just getting this like sense. And she's like, you know, Lisa's not woo-woo at all, but she's
Oh,
like
yeah.
downloads of things, right? I don't know what's going on.
Right.
And yeah, something did. Like I had a really awful friendship you know, like argument thing, which never recovered from that age. And it was awful. I feel like it was bullying off the back of it and all these sorts of things. And that probably, and it's so weird because now, like when I came home, I spoke to my husband about it and I was like, I can absolutely see how that could have had an impact on how I've been showing up and how I've always been playing this small option because you feel like you're not worthy of it. Like, you know, I don't know. But anyway, it was
Are you okay to share what happened?
no.
No, okay.
I'm sorry, but I don't never talk about it, and it's not. I can't be. I just no.
No, that's fine.
I need more. I need more therapy on that first.
No, that's fine. No, no worry. That's all good. Okay, so you've now had this huge transition in your business, right? Tell us a little bit about what your business looks like now.
Um. So the way that I see it kind of moving forward now is I want to get the nail tech stuff like really nice and steady. Like I feel like the money's coming back in now. It's nice and profitable again. Things are working really well. It's easy again. Like it's not stressful now and the
Right.
team's all sorted out and everything's all really good. So I feel like I want a new challenge. Like I want to, like, I love that. And I love helping the nail techs and I love what we've done. But the market is becoming much more saturated. Lots of people that I've taught in my membership, like dozens of them, and now starting coaching memberships for nail technicians,
Oh, wow.
which is fine because that's going to happen. Like, and a lot of them I'm helping to mentor as well. Like they've gone through OTM with Lisa, they've been in my affiliate thing, so it's all good, and I'm very happy for all of them. But I'm ready for something else. Like I'm ready for a new challenge, and I definitely won't be closing Nail Tech Tribe or the Nail Business Success Club, but I'm just ready for something else. And I feel like 40 now. I've been in the nail industry for like 8 or 9 years, and just yeah, I'm ready to
I
branch
love
out.
it. I love it. And we have also seen that with this mastermind and with Lisa, like you've won a trip to New York, right? You've gone on a shopping spree in New York, and you went on a shopping spree in London too.
I know. Honestly, my life has. I'm like, who am I? Like this person who like when we joined Mastermind with Lisa, and
Yeah,
we got like a Tiffany bracelet through the post. I'm like, with these
I
people now who
know.
receive Tiffany bracelets in the post. I'm like, how does this happen? Like,
Right.
yeah. So yeah, it's been honestly, I just feel like I'm so proud of what I've created with my life. Like I'm so proud of all these things that I now get to experience and do. And, a lot of that, especially like this year, has been like really thankful and grateful for Lisa, because
Yeah.
a lot of the amazing things that have been happening this year have stemmed from joining the mastermind, right? Like
Right.
I feel like they've all stemmed from that. I've been really, really lucky. But actually that was something like when I affiliated for Lisa in February, that was really, really hard. Like that was at a point where like the nail tech business wasn't doing so great.
Right.
We didn't have the team in place that we needed. Like things were really, really hard. And I'd committed to affiliate for
Right.
OTM. And so I did it and I gave it my absolute all, but it was not like easy, and there was a lot of tears, probably very close, like the most probably unstable mentally like I've been. And that was because I'd come off the back of my own launch, which was a lot of high pressure on it because I had to make some money. Straight into Lisa's launch, I didn't have the team, like some of my team have been ill, like all sorts of things have been going on. So it was hard, but you know what, now I'm like reaping all the rewards from it. But and it seems like, oh, so lucky, and she got all these things. And
Yeah.
I really want everyone to know it did not come easy. Like
Right.
sweat and tears went into that launch, and to finish, which amazed me, for the first time. And Lisa said no one has done this, I don't think, before, but to have done it affiliated for the very first time and came fourth out of 200 affiliates almost,
Wow.
was amazing, and really like gave me that thing of like, oh, I can sell. So maybe it is my product that isn't quite right.
Yeah.
Because when I've got a product that we know sells like OTM, I was able to deliver. And yeah, off the back of that, so many amazing things. Got to New York, went to
Yeah.
Lion King last week with my family because we got some Ticketmaster vouchers, and yeah,
Nice.
went to we went shopping with Lisa on Wednesday, and
Yeah.
yeah, went out for a fancy meal. I mean, it's just insane. It's like, whose life is
I
this?
love it. I love it. Now, I do want to mention something else, right? Because as your business grows and it scales, right, and you're making seven figures, we all know other problems arise, right? Other challenges come up. And you did mention, like, you've grown to seven figures, but the amount of tax that you're having,
Oh yeah, yeah,
right?
but it's
Tell us a little bit about that as well, because when we heard, I was like, what? Like, how is that even possible? Like, how do you have a seven-figure business and you're paying so much tax that you got nothing left to show for it? Like,
yeah, I think it wasn't. I mean, the tax obviously is annoying, but it's
yeah.
not that. That's the result of the issues that were going on in the business, right? So
Oh,
because the business had been doing so great, and then it wasn't doing so great, and we still had
right.
costs.
Okay.
What doesn't get paid? Like you're not paying your team, right? So then what's not getting paid? Because the tax doesn't have to be paid that month, right? Tax has to be paid 3 months from now, or
Yeah.
5 months from now, or a year from now. So it's just like, it's fine. I'll make that money back in the launch. I'll do like it. And then there comes that day where it's like, and I'm lucky, never missed the tax deadline, never haven't been able to pay my team. Like the money's always there and we always pull through. But it's just that stress of not like of thinking, am I going to be able to pay that big tax bill
Right.
that's coming up? And having to have that pressure on a launch of being like, I need to make the money because I am not someone who wouldn't pay my tax bill, or someone who wouldn't
Right.
pay my team like that. I don't know what I would do anything before that was going to happen, right? Like that's just not acceptable to me. So,
Yeah.
and we've got through it all. But really interestingly today, I've had a tax rebate,
I saw. I
and
saw that.
all that stress of and being like, I changed accountants in September last year, and the new accountants seem to know more about what they're doing, and I'm paying a lot less tax than what. But obviously I still have
Oh,
my like your corporation tax doesn't get paid for 9
yeah.
months, all of that, and yeah, now I'm being owed money, so it's crazy because you had the wrong accountant as well, and
Yeah. Wow. So it sounds like it was a mixture of all sorts of things. going on at the same time that you're not necessarily going to be aware of,
Yeah,
right?
well, it's just like you try. I feel like you try, right? So it's like, I mean, I'm not someone who buries my head in the sand when it comes to like tax and things like, I know like what's due when, and I ask lots of questions and things about it, but not having that right support. And the thing is with accountants is because we're not accountants. Well, I'm not an accountant myself. You don't know all the ins and outs. You have to trust the person who's telling you that what they're telling you is right. But now it's crazy because I spent all that time being like, oh, I've got to get this money together for this tax, and and actually I didn't know it in the first place anyway, because now they're paying it back to me. So but nice way of savings.
Oh my God. Now, Joe, like if people wanted to come to you for help, right? What would be the best way, or I guess, how can you actually help them first?
So come and follow me on Facebook. That's where like I tend to be most active. I mean, if you're a Now Tech, come into Now Tech Tribe, but I'm presuming probably quite a lot of people that are going to be watching this aren't Now Techs. One of the things that I want to start in the near future, and probably one of the things that I will be doing with the franchise that I've just bought into, is starting a business to help mums who have ambition, who want to have like really successful businesses like I've managed to do, but not at the sacrifice or the cost of not being there for them. Like that was always really important for me. And like, even though, I'm absolutely not saying that I don't work hard and that I'm with my kids all the time and like everything's la-di-da and everything's fine, but I am there for them when I need to be and if I want to be, and it's my choice. And I feel like that feels really, really nice to me. And so what I really want to help others to do now is up level their lives, like not think, I know there's loads of mums out there that are like, they have to choose between, am I making the money or am I going to be there for my kids?
Right.
And like, I'm like, we don't have to do that. Like I've managed to, like, it's not always been easy. And like I said, we're really honest and there's been lots of hard days, but actually, you know what, they're still really young. I've got a 9-year-old and a 7-year-old, and we get to do amazing fun things together. We get to go, like we went to the Maldives twice, we can take them to Lapland, like we can do all those things. And and I have the time to be with them. I pick them up from school or take them to school most days. I get to take them to their clubs. I get to do the things that I want to do with them, but I also get to be me and I'm not just mum. And I think that's what I really would love to help others to kind of help them to achieve and do as well.
I love that. And the thing is, you're not just an expert in the nail tech industry, but you're an expert in business because you've gone through all the ups and downs, right? That a lot of people may not even think about having or know about. And so you can actually help them with little tactics that you've learned around business and really growing and scaling that to a 7-figure business like you have. And like I said, I can't wait with this franchise. And I know there's going to be more businessy things going on there, right? Because of the type of franchise it is as well. And that you'll be able to kind of add to that, right? Which is going to be amazing. Now, I know you've got a special gift for our listeners today. Is that right?
I'm not sure. So I tell you what, I would
Yeah.
suggest you do, because I'm making this transition, and we don't have everything all sorted at the moment. But what I would suggest that you do is follow me at Joanna Tompkins. If you are someone who is currently feeling like you're either like you're just working all the time, or you're stuck, or you're not earning the amount that you want, just shoot me a DM. Like, let me know. I've been listening to this podcast. Let me know what's going on, and I'm happy to send you a voice note back and see how I can help in some way. And probably maybe by the time this actually broadcasts anywhere and it's out there, give me a follow, and there'll probably be some kind of, I don't know, website or something on my page that you can go and check out.
Don't worry, guys. Like all links, all updated links, right, will be in the show notes. So make sure you scroll down and grab hold of all those links. Reach out to Jo because she is absolutely amazing at what she does, and the amount of knowledge that she has and experience. Oh my goodness, I'm blown away. You guys must be blown away too. Jo, thank you so much for coming onto the show. It was awesome having you here.
Thank you so much for having me. It was really fun.
Thanks for listening to Make Your Mark podcast at www.makeyourmarkpodcast.com. Make sure you hit that subscribe button so you get this and every other episode that comes out. We have lots of great stuff coming, so make sure you hit subscribe so you don't miss it. And thank you in advance for all the reviews and comments. I appreciate it so much. And I look forward to serving you in next week's episode.